Temperatures in the 20s tonight with rain later this week. I've got the details and your 7-day forecast coming up.
I've always been scared of dogs. And if I had known he was out there, I never would have went outside.
A local woman who was attacked by a dog is struggling to get the animal off the streets of her neighborhood. How she says Augusta Animal Services let her down. And the Augusta National Golf Club and Augusta University Health team up to distribute more COVID-19 vaccines in the CSRA.
And later we speak to Augusta city leaders about the new homelessness task force and what it means for the area. Your news and weather on Fox 54 starts now.
Your local news 1 hour earlier. WFXG Fox 54 News Now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. At 10, I'm Mark Blaine.
And I'm Courtney Hicks. An Augusta woman says she is thankful to be alive tonight after being attacked by what she calls a dangerous dog. 66-year-old Sarah Johnson says it happened a few weeks ago on Cameron Drive.
She spoke with Fox 54's Maya Payton about the difficulty she's faced working with Augusta Animal Services to get her case resolved.
On what was supposed to be a normal day for Sarah Johnson turned into one of the worst days of her life. On January 14th, Johnson says she was taking her trash out when a dog snuck up from behind and attacked her, leaving her hollering, screaming for her life.
He jumped in my chest like a grown man, knocked me in the street. He immediately started chewing up my left arm. He broke my wrist. I got scars all over my body. This knee was swollen pretty bad, but that's down now. I have problems walking a little bit because sometimes it seems like it's giving out.
You're taking a look at a neighbor's surveillance video just moments after the attack that shows the dog walking around Johnson's front yard and another neighbor shooing it away. Johnson says later that day after she returned from the hospital, Animal Services set a trap near her home, but it captured the wrong dog. She said her sister tried to reach out to Animal Services to alert them, but they never got back to her. In the meantime, the dog caught in the trap remained there for 2 days.
That dog would bark and whine all night. She felt sorry for him and wanted to feed him. But yeah, it took too long for him to get him out of there.
Sarah's sister, Linda, says with the help of former Augusta Commissioner Marion Williams, she was able to get in touch with Animal Services, who then reset the trap.
Because it's not safe. Young children be out there waiting on the school bus in the morning. That dog been digging holes and getting out. He could kill somebody.
But the trap never worked. Although it captured other dogs and cats, the dog that attacked Sarah remained free, and days later, almost attacked Linda.
I bought me 3 pepper sprays. Because I said, if he come again, I'm going to spray him.
Johnson also told us it took nearly 2 weeks after the attack for Animal Services to speak to the dog's owner, who lived up the street. Marion Williams says the director of Animal Services, James Hill, told him in this case it went against protocol to remove the dog from its owner's home.
The system has failed tremendously when it's about public safety. I think the Animal Services need to be making a case against the people that own the dog. I mean, this is a dangerous situation. Had been a death occurred, what would we have said then? I'm sorry?
Williams went before commission about this incident. The mayor said there seems to be, quote, system failures. The city administrator promised to follow up with Animal Services and bring back a report to commission at the next meeting. Meanwhile, Johnson says as long as that dog is out there, she will continue to live in fear.
Sometimes when I'm alone or sitting here by myself, I think about it. And I start crying about it because I still can't believe it happened to me, but it did.
In Augusta, I'm Maya Payton, Fox 54 News Now.
We reached out to Animal Services about how they've handled this case. We have yet to hear back from them.
And we have new details tonight about why folks staying at Motel 6 on Boy Scout Road had to move out last week. Richmond County Marshal Terrence Winder tells us the motel is basically rotting due to prolonged water damage. Dozens were left without a place to go after being slapped with a sudden eviction notice last Tuesday. Today, Fox 54 spoke to one Augusta Richmond County commissioner who says the motel is expected to reopen, but not until the damage is repaired and the city deems it safe. Stick with us because coming up at 11, we'll hear from District 7 Commissioner Sean Frantum on the future of the motel.
And if you've spent any time outside this evening, you've definitely noticed a chill in the air right now at Augusta Regional. We're at 31 degrees, already below freezing at 10 o'clock this evening. Definitely feeling like winter outside right now. Dew point's 27 degrees this evening. Clear skies, though. We're going to keep clear skies in the forecast all the way through tomorrow morning, but definitely those cold temperatures will stick around. Elsewhere, here are those temperatures across the CSRA. 42 in Evans, 37 up in McCormick, 38 Washington, 30 degrees already in Thompson, 35 Louisville, 30 in Barnwell, 29 in Aiken and Saluda, getting down into the 20s. All of us by sunrise tomorrow will be in those 20s. Have the blankets with you. Turn on the heat tonight because you're definitely going to want it on. Here's First Alert Doppler radar right now, not showing any precipitation across the whole region, so we're looking at very dry weather tonight, nothing in the rain department. They're really the same story across the whole southeast and North Carolina, South Carolina, over into Georgia, not looking at any problems there. 25 degrees, the official low tonight. Might be a few degrees cooler or warmer in some spots compared to others. Definitely keeping those winds at the calm tonight, not looking at any wind chill problems, but definitely a cold night is on tap for your Wednesday evening, much colder than normal for this time of year. We do have rain on the way. That arrives on Friday. I'll time out all the details for you and your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Mark?
Trevor, thank you very much. The Augusta National Golf Club announced today that it's partnering with Augusta University Health in an effort to make the COVID-19 vaccine available to more people in the Augusta community. Augusta National is donating $1 million toward the effort. In turn, the Community Foundation for the CSRA is matching that amount for a grand total of $2 million in funding. The money will be used to help centralize operations and expand the reach to more underserved communities in the coming months. The Chief Medical Officer of AU Health, Dr. Philip Kuhl, says this is important since these communities have been hit hard by the virus.
COVID-19 does not affect all communities equally, and communities of color have been disproportionately affected by this disease. And that's why it's important that this donation will help us get into those communities most at risk.
Dr. Kuhl added, if you're eligible to receive the vaccine, you must make an appointment, and he said younger people can step up by assisting their parents and older relatives with the online appointment process. And besides its monetary donation, Augusta National is making the now vacant Steinmart location inside its Washington Square shopping property available to AU Health to be used as a vaccination site. It's scheduled to open on Monday and will remain open for as long as it's needed.
Why do so many schools remain closed, and what will it take to reopen them? That's the hot topic around the country and at the confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill today. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard takes a look at the disagreements on how to safely get kids back to school.
The president's nominee to lead the education department being tested by lawmakers. Miguel Cardona faced questions about how he would lead the nation's schools, but senators particularly focused on how to reopen classrooms, protect students and teachers, and help students make up for nearly a year away from the classroom, as some school systems say all students and teachers need to be vaccinated before returning to in-person learning.
We all want to make sure we can get our students back into school safely.
The CDC director said teachers don't need the vaccine for schools to be safe.
Vaccination of teachers is not a prerequisite for safe reopening of schools.
Republicans have accused Democrats and President Biden of bowing to pressure from teachers' unions.
Look, if you're not going to go back to class, you shouldn't get some of this $110 billion that the Senate has put in the pipeline.
Despite negotiations, some unions have refused to move away from remote learning.
We certainly hope and encourage progress on that front, but the president's focus is on the schools reopening safely.
In Congress, they're debating another round of stimulus. The president's proposed COVID relief bill has $130 billion allocated to schools.
This rescue package will include resources for schools to make that happen quicker.
Science is not the obstacle. Federal money is not the obstacle. The obstacle is a lack of willpower.
The CDC says their studies show the virus does not spread in schools when students and staff wear masks, social distance, and there is proper ventilation. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
The battle against COVID-19 is proving even more difficult due to a shortage of nurses. This is certainly apparent at the Charlie Norwood VA Hospital in Augusta. In an effort to bring additional nurses on board, the VA hospital is running orientations weekly in an effort to bring new nurses up to speed as quickly as possible. Nurse recruiter Dr. FEB says the hospital is looking to hire at least an additional 100 nurses. The doctor says COVID-19 has made overcoming the national nursing shortage that already existed an even bigger challenge.
With COVID, we saw a lot of people retire and a lot of people leave out of fear and exhaustion. So we do have an increased need for nurses, and that's RNs, LPNs, and nursing assistants. It runs the full scope of nursing practice.
Dr. Berta says they just started hiring intermittent RNs and nursing assistants, which is something historically the VA has not done before. The VA plans to hold a monthly drive-by, drop-off resume event in an effort to recruit more nurses.
And 57 degrees was that high temperature this afternoon out at Bushfield, just a touch below normal for this time of year. That average high is 60 degrees, but on this day in 1917, we got down to 9 degrees. That's the record low. We've got more weather in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
And a murder in 2017 in Richmond County has yet to be solved. More details coming up in about 10 minutes. Stay with us.
Your local news 1 hour earlier. WFXG Fox 54 News Now.
And welcome back. Thanks for staying with us tonight on Fox 54 News at 10. I'm Courtney Hicks.
And I'm Mark Blaine. Continuing coverage tonight, we've told you about a task force the Augusta Commission formed to help solve homelessness issues in the area.
Today, our Sydney Moore spoke with one man who is without a home, who shared the challenges he faces in his day-to-day life. She joins us live in downtown Augusta with the details. Good evening, Sydney.
Good evening, Mark and Courtney. Well, homelessness is a huge issue of concern here in the city. I spoke with a man named Ezra Lay, who is currently living under a bridge. He tells me he hopes that the task force efforts will bring some relief.
Pray to God that I get pulled up out of this. I don't like to be in the situation I am, but I have to eat this every day.
Ezra Lay has been homeless for 2.5 months, and it hasn't been easy.
I never seen myself in this situation, but knowing something, but I'm trying to better myself while I'm out here being homeless. I'm not out here panhandling and all that other stuff, but I just live day by day. Every day, Lay sleeps under the Bridge Creek Bridge in downtown Augusta, along with his buggy filled with basic necessities. I ain't showered in 14 days. But I still try to make my best, try to go to interview, job. I never give up on hope.
Well, hope is on the way. The Augusta Commission's Homelessness Task Force, led by District 1 Commissioner Jordan Johnson and District 2 Commissioner Dennis Williams, says they are working diligently.
It's important that the Augusta Commission be intentional about solving that issue. So the task force will meet to come up with recommendations about how not to only provide services, but to provide long-term housing options for those living in homeless situations.
After hearing about the task force and their duty to get folks on their feet, Lay says it brings him much comfort.
Better chance at life. See, everybody deserves a second chance. Some people mess up the first chance they got. But when you get that second chance, you got to make life better than what it was.
Well, Johnson tells me that the task force is getting the ball rolling and met with city administrators earlier today. Now, this is still a developing story, but Fox 54 will continue to keep you updated on air and online. Live in downtown Augusta, I'm Sydney Moore, Fox 54 News Now.
All right, Sydney, a second chance indeed. Thank you for that. We have an update on an incident that took place in Richmond County on the 700 block of East Boundary Street. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office has arrested and charged 24-year-old Curtis Hightower with reckless conduct. This comes after deputies responded to a call of shots fired around 9:45 this morning. Upon arriving on the scene, they discovered a woman and her ex-boyfriend had been arguing over parental responsibilities. During the dispute, the ex attempted to leave in Hightower's car when the woman picked up a stick and began to strike the vehicle. Authorities say Hightower stepped out of the car with a gun and fired a shot into the ground.
And in Aiken County, a third arrest has been made in connection to the shooting death of 31-year-old Christina Kateri. Investigators say she was shot and killed as she pulled into the driveway of a home in the 1600 block of Old Jackson Highway. This happened on May 4th of last year. According to authorities, 23-year-old Daquan Lamar Lee was arrested and charged with murder, armed robbery, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime.
And I hope you've got that heat on right now. 30 degrees, Aiken Regional Airport. Feeling like 30 though. The wind is calm, so we don't have a wind chill to talk about, but 30 is still cold either way you slice it. Clear skies right now there in Aiken, as well as everywhere across the CSRA. We're not looking at any cloud cover this evening and also not looking at any rainfall. But definitely all of us getting in on this cold weather right now. 31 in the city. There's that 30-degree reading in Aiken. 28 right now in Saluda. 35 McCormick, as well as Washington. 30 in Thompson. 34 Louisville. 32 Swainsboro, and 31 degrees in Millen. And it's only going to get colder than this as we head towards sunrise tomorrow morning. But right now, here's first alert Doppler radar again showing we're all dry this evening over into Georgia and South Carolina. High pressure is dominating the weather for this evening. Not looking at any rainfall in the southeast, really. That's going to change later this week. But as far as tonight goes, we're not looking at any rainfall across the southeastern U.S. There's that cold weather, though. 25 degrees, that low temperature tonight. Especially outside of the city, might be a little bit warmer in some spots, but all of us getting into the 20s there. Calm winds tonight, clear and cold conditions, definitely a 100% chance of seeing that cold weather tonight. And as we head in towards tomorrow, we are going to be looking at warmer than normal temperatures. So tomorrow is going to be about 60 degrees for your high temperature in the evening there, but not expecting too much there for your high temperature. Now here are those regional temperatures, right now. Across the southeastern United States, 31 degrees in Augusta, 38 in Atlanta, 35 in Albany. Got my clicker to work now, 36 in Tuscaloosa, and 33 in Huntsville. Tracking a cold front, though, as we head towards the end of this week. Cloud cover, definitely name of the game for tomorrow, Thursday, about 6 o'clock tomorrow, looking at those clouds coming into the region. Mark?
Trevor, thanks so much. Today, University Hospital reported one of the lowest daily counts of COVID-19 inpatients in close to 2 months. The latest report shows 92 COVID-19 patients are currently being treated at the hospital. Prior to February 1st, that number hadn't dropped below 100 since mid-December.
More than 52 million COVID-19 vaccine doses have been distributed across the U.S. Now, that's according to the CDC, but the chief medical advisor to the president says it isn't happening fast enough to keep up with new variants or demand. Nadia Romero shows us the push to get more shots in arms at an accelerated pace.
Barbershop chatter in Atlanta has some hesitant to get a COVID-19 vaccine.
I really don't trust it because it actually came kind of fast.
A lack of confidence, plus a supply shortage causing mounting problems in the battle against the virus. Dr. Anthony Fauci says more people need to get vaccinated, especially with the spread of COVID variants. The push continues to get more people vaccinated, but it can't be done with the current number of available doses.
We still have a demand that far exceeds the supply.
Take Georgia, for instance. Governor Brian Kemp says the state reached a milestone, 1 million COVID-19 vaccine doses administered, more than half of them going to seniors. But
given the ongoing supply-demand issue we have experienced since December, we've also seen public health districts across metro Atlanta, like the one we're visiting here today, take short pauses in scheduling new first dose appointments.
Despite the challenges, the White House COVID-19 response team says it's on track to meet President Joe Biden's goal of 100 million doses in his first 100 days in office.
We have increased vaccine supply to states, tribes, and territories by over 20%.
And the administration says pharmacies will get direct vaccine shipments. CVS and Walgreens announced they'll be offering the vaccine in some states starting next week. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
And a reminder, if you fall into the Phase 1A group, you can get a vaccine shot at the Publix locations on Washington Road in Evans and Fury's Ferry Road in Martinez, along with the Publix on East Gate Drive in Aiken, as well as the Publix on East Martintown Road in North Augusta. The vaccine is also being offered at all Kroger pharmacy locations. Both grocery store chains require that you make an appointment. The vaccination comes at no cost. Also, a couple of local Walmart pharmacies also are administering, I should say, the COVID-19 vaccine. It's available at the Walmart in Waynesboro, located on North Liberty Street, and in North Augusta at the Walmart on Edgefield Road. For more information, you can go to our website, WFXG.com.
Senate Democrats joined President Biden in the Oval Office Wednesday as he urged the party to stick together to pass a massive COVID-19 relief deal. They walked through his plans in detail to House Democrats by phone, where he stressed the need for $1,400 direct payments. Congressional Democrats are making it clear that just days after this, they are prepared to move forward without GOP help. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell pointing to Biden's meeting with Republicans Monday night.
Yesterday, less than a day after several Senate Republicans spent literally 2 hours meeting with President Biden, Senate Democrats plowed ahead with a party line vote to set the table for a partisan jam.
As of now, Biden's proposal doesn't have any support from Republicans. Also in Washington today, the Senate approved a power-sharing agreement that lets Democrats take control of committees. The chamber is split 50-50 with Vice President Kamala Harris able to cast the tie-breaking vote. That gives Democrats the thinnest possible margin of control. Since the chamber was still operating under the rules set up when Republicans were in control, Democrats couldn't take the reins in key committees. The delay was holding up consideration of President Biden's cabinet nominees, including Attorney General nominee Merrick Garland, who is expected to receive bipartisan support. And chilling audio released today of terrifying moments when 2 FBI agents were shot and killed while serving a search warrant in South Florida. The agency honoring the 2 special agents, Daniel Elfin and Laura Schwarzenberger, who you see here, dedicated their lives to fighting crimes against children. The New York Post reporting the suspects has been identified as 55-year-old David Lee Huber. That's one suspect. He'd been investigated for child pornography possession, and neighbors say he kept to himself. According to the Miami Herald, Huber is believed to have set up a camera in his doorbell and used it to monitor the agents as they approached his home. The Miami Herald then said Hubert fired through the unopened door using an assault-style rifle.
I can only speculate, because this was a search warrant leading to an arrest warrant. I'm sure they were wearing vests, so I'm curious about what type of hit these 2 agents took.
President Biden offering his condolences to the families, and an FBI director will meet with members of the slain agents' family.
And 57 was that high temperature this afternoon out at Busch Field. That's about 3 degrees below that average high of 60 degrees. This day last year, we got up to 78, so quite a difference from year to year. We've got more weather in just a few minutes.
When it comes to golf, Augusta is known around the world as the host city of the Masters tournament. And in about 10 minutes in tonight's Eat, Play, Go, where you can go to show off your golf swing.